on, everybody? Welcome to the Tuesday edition of the NBA Slate Starter Podcast. I'm Eric, joined with my buddy Ryan as we break down the 7-game NBA DFS slate on DraftKings and FanDuel. I felt really good about my lineups today. I still do. We'll see kind of how Taj Gibson ends up working out. I have a ton of him. I have a ton of Patrick Williams on both sites. That's kind of a pivot that I made to get a little different. But my God, Draymond Green, Steph Curry, Domantas Sabonis, and one Russell Westbrook. Absolutely just destroying this slate. And then RJ Hampton and Mo Bamba, pieces you probably need too. Rayen Patnaik, how's your night going?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I on the early games, if you stack the early games in different combinations, if you find a way to jam in Russ, Sabonis, Sadiq Bey, Mo Bamba, RJ Hampton, you're sitting at top right now. So unfortunately, I don't have all those pieces all together in one. I was under the field on Sabonis. I had to make I wanted to make a stand there. I just felt like a lot of lineups would have Russ and Sabonis together. I was pretty heavy on Russ today, on pretty much across the board. And it felt like a lot of those Russ lineups would have Sabonis. I chose to get elsewhere because I thought power forward slate was pretty loaded. Guys like Zion, Draymond Green, Anthony Davis without LeBron James are all on the slate. So in terms of a tournament decision, it just didn't pan out for me today.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those slates too where it's like you got to have the guys. Like it's hard to find a pivot around. Like sometimes it'll only be like 5 or 10 that you're off between a guy like Sabonis and Zion. But today it was like 30. It ends up being a huge gap to try to come up with. But you're one of the best in the world. I bet you back it up. I bet you come back strong. So let's do that tomorrow on the 7-gamer. Plus, you don't want to win 50K on FanDuel. You want to win 100K, and there's 100K up top there tomorrow. But if you guys want some good karma yourself, get down to that bottom bar, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. That goes a long way for us so you know when all of our content's going live, and that helps you by hitting that notification bell as well, so it goes directly to your phone. If you would like, and I think you should, check out our sponsor, monkeyknifefight.com. monkeyknifefight.com, they do prop-based games. You can basically get multipliers on your investment based on a number of different categories that they have for it, combining player props, but it's NBA, MLB, NHL, MMA, PGA, all of the goodies. If you use some of the information that you get from an Awesemo Plus Platinum, if you end up deciding to try out some of that, use some of those goodies over at monkeyknifefight.com. They definitely correlate very, very strongly, so stop guessing, start winning, and check out our sponsor by using promo code Awesemo, AWESEMO, to get $100 first match deposit bonus. Rinpack, are you ready to get going, my dude?
Let's ride.
Let's ride to the top end we go. So a nice 7-gamer that we got set up here for tomorrow. Looking awfully good in terms of how the late swap's going to be working. There's only one 7. Oh God. Okay. It's 7 o'clock, so 10 p.m. Eastern time standalone game. Of course, it has the Clippers in it. I'm sure nothing will ever happen crazy with that, but such is life. Luka Doncic on the top end, 10,800, going up against Miami. Tough matchup, but it's Luka. I would call him matchup proof at this point in time. Only 48 against Sacramento, which was super disappointing, coming off of his 80.5 that he put up on Washington. But a tough matchup, but he can definitely overcome it. Steph Curry gets the back-to-back New Orleans game. They're going at it again tomorrow. It's going to be very curious. I don't know why his price dropped $400. I guess it has to do with the overall slate, but down $400 to 10-4. He just played awesome again today. I believe it was 1.68 fantasy points in 725 minutes with Kelly Oubre off the floor this year. That's outrageous production and puts him just below Giannis in terms of best fantasy producing rates in the NBA. So he's kind of a whole new player, not that we ever questioned his ceiling to begin with. And then last guy we'll throw in Kyrie Irving, $9,600 going up against Milwaukee. Tough matchup, but also fast-paced matchup. So I think those kind of cancel each other out. Brooklyn needs to keep winning games too, so a good team to be watching. That'll be a fun one to watch on Tuesday night. Talk to me about the top end of point guard.
Yeah, top end of point guard. We just saw what Steph did to the same Pelicans. He put up 56.8, I believe, FanDuel points as they won by 15. Put up 41 real life. Love him. $9,700 on FanDuel. Love him quite a bit over there on DraftKings as well, where you get the 3-point bonus at 10-4. But if you want to spend up to Luka Doncic in a matchup versus Miami, it can't fall short. You know what Luka's upside is. We've seen it happen a number of times over the past week. And I know people might shy away from the Miami matchup, but you said it right. Luka's matchup proof. He's going to find many ways to get there if he doesn't get in trouble with the refs. One more technical and he gets suspended. So he said he's not going to get any more. So as this Dallas team is tied with the Lakers for the play-in game. Kind of a bizarre West Coast thing that's happening with these teams as they all want to escape that play-in game, but makes for an exciting finish. Kyrie Irving against Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday humbled him the other day on the Sunday afternoon ABC primetime game. Now, is he going to come back and be able to overcome Drew Holiday's defense at $9,500 on FanDuel and $9,600 on DraftKings? I think Drew's got his number, but a great tournament option. We know Kyrie can outscore both Luka and Curry, but with Drew there, it's a bit tough for that to happen. And shout out to Kyle Lowry, man. The guy balled out against the Lakers, really making sure the Lakers regretted not to trade for him. He was absolutely sensational in that late night hammer last night as he put up 57.9 and 60 plus DraftKings points. So 7,400. I think Van Vliet does return against this Clippers team, so it's not as enticing. And Van Vliet makes for a great option as well. And rounding out the other point guards on the slate, LaMelo Ball, $6,200, $7,100 on DraftKings. A matchup versus Detroit. I love going to LaMelo Ball as Detroit is full on tank mode, rightfully so, as they tanked beautifully today against Orlando. Pretty much trying to secure that number 2 pick. Is it going to be Evan Mobley? Is it going to be
Cade Cunningham?
Cade Cunningham is a lock to Houston, in my opinion.
Oh, okay.
I don't think the Pistons can catch up to Cade Cunningham. Even though those Cade Cunningham sweepstakes would be nice, Evan Mobley is not a bad consolation prize, in my opinion.
I would agree with such things. Yeah, looking up and down that lineup here, point guard again. I think Detroit, somebody you can play is Saban Lee. I had a couple shares here today. 3,100 or 3,200, I believe. He's down now to the flat min at 3K. Having Corey Joseph out, that is very, very helpful. Having Dennis Smith Jr. out is definitely helpful. Corey Joseph, I like the DraftKings thing that it says, Joseph is allegedly dealing with a sore ankle. Like, nothing is more enjoyable to read than a blurb like the Associated Press basically being like, we know you're lying, stop it. Anybody else for you here? I'm just kind of looking at the bottom end. I think we kind of know the usual suspects, but there's a couple guys. Yeah, I take some shots on Frank Jackson, 4,300 over on FanDuel. That's kind of the guy. And then Rajon Rondo, somebody you've been playing a lot at 3,800, played 30 minutes against Denver. Can we expect something similar to that?
Yeah, so I think Delon Wright is the point guard special play of the day tomorrow. No Tyrese Halliburton. I expect him to play 30 plus minutes tomorrow. $5,100 on DraftKings and $5,200 on FanDuel. Really like Delon Wright's price tag against Oklahoma City. I think he's going to play 30 plus minutes. That backcourt is very thin with no Fox, no Halliburton now. So I expect him to get as many minutes as he can handle in that situation. So he really becomes kind of a priority value play. If you want to pivot off of him, it's going to be tough to do it in confidence. But guys in that similar price range are guys like Goran Dragic, I believe Jordan Poole's in that price range, but yeah,
we're going to be playing right.
Yeah, Delon Wright seems like the right play tomorrow.
I definitely agree with you. And then Terrence Davis, which I think we'll probably get to at the shooting guard position. It might be Terrence Davis day as well. Hopefully it is, because I think that was kind of the game plan with Halliburton out there. If Wright's going to play point, that would make sense there. But anywho, we'll jump on over to shooting guard over on FanDuel top end. Paul George, 9K going up against Toronto. Toronto, I guess we didn't even bring Kyle Lowry up that much and how well he played against the Lakers, 7,400 on FanDuel. That's a really nice price tag. But Paul George at the shooting guard position, 9K. That's awfully nifty. Probably be playing him as long as Kawhi Leonard can. Well, Kawhi Leonard's back here now, so that's less nifty. He did play 30 minutes there the last game. So Paul George, 9K, a little overpriced, but maybe a contrarian spend up. Colin Sexton is up to 8,500. Played 38 minutes, 48.8 over on FanDuel. That's probably too much for me. And then Devin Booker, 8K up against Cleveland in that same spot. Probably more doable. I think, paying up for shooting guard, probably not going to be the most popular thing to do in the entire world on FanDuel tomorrow, but that's kind of why you do it in tournaments. Talk to me about the top end of shooting guard.
Yeah, top end of shooting guard, obviously Paul George, 9K, still in play even with Kawhi Leonard. He's been that good this year. Obviously, you would like Kawhi not to play if you want to have more confidence in him, but it's a great tournament option. Matchup against Toronto. But if you want to pivot, spend down a guy like Van Vliet, $7,100, kind of cheap for him. Don't mind it. Devin Booker also 8K. I think $8,000 Devin Booker, the cover boy of the Slate starter for today's show. 8,000 versus Cleveland, coming in at $8,200 on DraftKings. I think it's a pretty solid option. We saw over there other shooting guard options. There's some rumblings in Cleveland about Colin Sexton. He doesn't care. He's still taking 20 shots. So Colin Sexton, 8,500 will be very low owned in my opinion. Makes for a fine option. Andrew Wiggins found his way up to 38 fantasy points today. Took 19 shot attempts. It didn't matter that Steph Curry took all those shots because Andrew Wiggins was right behind him. So Wiggins, $7,100. I like that quite a bit. I was over the field on him today. I like going back to Wiggins in the same matchup against the Pelicans tomorrow at that FanDuel price tag. Keep in mind in the Detroit situation, we saw Josh Jackson not start today, and they decided to start Hamidou Diallo. We'll see if Diallo plays on a back-to-back. Jackson's going to be in play for me if he starts 5K versus Charlotte. He could play around 30 plus minutes if he were to start. Today, he didn't start. He played less than 20 minutes, played 22 minutes, pardon me there. Did take 10 shot attempts. So Josh Jackson's going to get on the floor. He's going to chuck the ball for sure. So he makes for a great option, but you let it off. If you want to spend all the way down, guys like TD3 and Terrence Davis, $3,800 versus Oklahoma City. Love that. I think if for some reason Torrey Gregg is really popular after his 40-plus point game, TD3 makes for a great pivot off of him. And other guys in Sacramento that might get some extra minutes, I think Justin James found a way to play 20 minutes last time. Not that good fantasy producer, but another min-price guy over there on FanDuel. Duncan Robinson's all the way down to 3,900. That's getting cheap for him because he's going to play around high 20s minutes. I know that FanDuel scoring is not favorable for him, but always going to take a ton of threes. He's essentially the shooting guard version of Davis Bertans on FanDuel. It's just that he's going to take a bunch of threes, and you hope that he can find a way to knock down 5 and 6 and pick up maybe 5 rebounds. And he's going to put you in a position to take those lineups to the top as a solid value option. And other guys over there on DraftKings on the shooting guard spot, Chris Middleton in a Brooklyn matchup. I like going to him. He put up 55 the other day in fantasy-wise. Kind of was shadowed after Giannis's monster 70-plus fantasy point performance. If you don't want to go to these Bucks players, Drew Holiday is not out of play either. It's a very favorable Brooklyn matchup. But with no Halliburton and no Fox, Buddy Hield is on his way to potentially take 25-plus shot attempts against this Oklahoma City team. $7,300 Buddy Hield. Sign me up. I've been talking about Buddy Hield every day he's on the slate, and now it just gets better and better for Mr. Buddy Hield. God. Buddy Hield has earned himself he might need to get on the cover of the next time he's on the slate. I got to let the graphics team know.
Playing him and eating my, whatever. Playing him has been punishment enough. I've had to play him a lot here, and it doesn't feel good to be wrong sometimes. But 7,300, it still doesn't mean he's good. It just means he's playing 42 minutes like he did against Dallas in that win. Again, why are they winning? I don't understand. But here we are. Buddy Hield, definitely a guy you can go to. I've got a really sick one for you, and I think I need Pokashevsky to be out for it, but Kenrich Williams, after being told that he wasn't going to be in the rotation, he didn't actually play on the 29th against the Pelicans on last Thursday. Came back, played 19 minutes against Indiana, played pretty well, 21.25 on DK. He played 30 minutes against Phoenix, and I think part of it was Pokashevsky left that game early, and he had the knee deal going on, but he's 3,700 over on DraftKings. Shooting guard and small forward eligible, 3,700 against Sacramento. That's a matchup we want to be targeting, even if it is a crappy OKC team. What do you think about Kenrich Williams taking some shots there? And then also, I just have to say it because I have the song in my head. I'm sorry, Judge Jackson, you are not cheap. There it is. You're welcome.
Well, we got Eric Will on his way to his first Grammy after that. But Kenny Hustle is going to be an interesting play. OKC's been so hard for me to pinpoint and get correct just because they have weirdly a lot of bodies. There's a guy in Charlie Brown who's getting minutes now. So it is a tough OKC position to go there. I think the Sacramento value stands out to me, would find a way to take guys like TD3 over Kenny Hustle. And I think Terrence Davis at 4K is, I think, a better play than Kenrich Williams at $3,700. I think I would even take my chances on a Ty Jerome on the same team rather than Kenrich Williams, because I think Ty Jerome has more of an offensive game than Kenrich Williams. Don't get me wrong, Kenrich Williams, when given the minutes, has shown a way to be pretty productive on the fantasy end, but it is a tough decision for that to happen. So we'll see what ends up happening on the shooting guard spot.
Yeah, just kind of something to point out. Somebody who's playing 30 minutes that's not the worst fantasy point per minute guy under 4K. Thought he stood out a little bit to me. Maybe we'll see where that ownership comes in but all those OKC guys, you kind of want to find a way to get to them. But again, you're going to have a great game environment in Golden State, New Orleans, and I think that's going to eat a lot of the chalk, or be a lot of the chalk in some spots based off of some of the things we saw today. Brooklyn, Milwaukee, another good game environment. But I think because of how cheap everybody is and having no Fox, no Halliburton, that Sacramento OKC game could look really, really nice if you find some other pieces on the other side. Anywho, to the top end of small forward. Also, thank you. I will take my Grammy. It could have been worse. It could have been worse. Top end, Luka Doncic, small forward eligible. Point guard, we talked about him a little bit against Miami. He's got a ceiling. Yeah, we know that. Jimmy Butler, 8,900 going up against Dallas. That's kind of nifty to have him under 9K. I've been just kind of waiting for all of these prices to come down on these Heat dudes. Even with pieces out, they just play so slow. And having Bam and Butler on the floor together, it just kills the production going forward here. Oladipo, Hero's going to continue to be out. It looks like he's been ruled out already for Tuesday. So yeah, Duncan Robinson or whatever else. Yeah, we talked about him for a hot second. But Jimmy Butler, 8,900. I think he'd probably be my favorite Heat piece in general. And then Kawhi Leonard, 8,800 against Toronto. Came out, played 30 minutes. We'll see if he can get up to like 32, 34. I think that would kind of put him in play at 8,800 over on DraftKings. But would definitely still need to do work in that amount of time. Talk to me about the top end of small forward.
Yeah, top end of small forward, obviously Luka 10-8 over there has small forward eligibility. Jimmy Butler sub 9K, and in this Dallas matchup, I like that quite a bit. And I honestly, on both sides, he's in play 9,600. That is your one of your spend up options over there on small forward. But Kevin Durant 10-3 small forward on FanDuel. Gotta love KD. Took 33 shot attempts in a matchup versus Milwaukee. Probably was bummed out that he fell short on that game tying three. Now he gets his little same matchup against Milwaukee. Wow. I just that's going to be a fun game yet again to watch. Don't mind Kevin Durant, 10-3. We know what that upside is. But Kawhi Leonard, 9K and 8,800 on FanDuel and DraftKings respectively. So he's a great option against this Toronto team. I like going to Kawhi. I think we'll be kind of low owned and has serious upside if he were to play a bit more minutes, 33, 34 minutes potentially if this game stays close. Brandon Ingram was disappointing today. Very disappointing to say the least. Sub 30 fantasy points. His price is cheap, $7,900, $7,300 on FanDuel. I'm going to go right back to him. I think Brandon Ingram will need to turn around against same matchup against Golden State. I will take my chances on BI at that price tag. Tough not to have some interest there. Other options over there on FanDuel. Middleton, 8K is fine. Obviously, he had a monster game last time out against the same Brooklyn team. Buddy Hield, I've already stroked Buddy Hield enough on this Slate starter. But
nice
7K, 7K on FanDuel. Yeah, the guy has gonna have 25 plus shot attempt upside. He has the upside of putting up 50 real life points against his putrid Oklahoma City team. I'm just being honest. And you've got to spend down over there on FanDuel tomorrow. I think there's no one that really stands out. Joe Harris, 4,700. The guy needs to take more than 7 shot attempts. Sorry. He's a good enough three-point shooter where Kyrie and KD need to hit him out on the outside. $4,700 on FanDuel is not terrible. Mo Harkless, $3,700. Going to play, I think, some extra minutes potentially. I don't know. He only played 17 minutes last time against Dallas as Marvin Bagley played really well. And we'll talk about Bagley in the power forward spot, but really no one that sticks out to spend down. I think no OG Anunoby, maybe Stanley Johnson if you want to go there, played 30 minutes.
Kind of who I was looking at. I think Stanley Johnson was the guy. 29 minutes. Didn't play very well fantasy-wise, but he's a better fantasy point per minute producer than that. Not that he's a good one, but 29 minutes, he could walk into some stats at 3,700 there in 30 minutes.
Yeah, he only had 9 fantasy points in 30 minutes, kind of put on his Tony Snell impersonation. But I think we can go back to him tomorrow. It's tough, 3K, and you're just kind of a little worried about what can happen. You can't take 9 points from him, but I think in tournaments he's in play because he could find a way to mid 20 fantasy points in 30 minutes just because of the lack of bodies there. But having VanVleet potentially return doesn't help him. But that's really about it on the small forward spot. I think I mean, obviously, we can't touch on everyone, but there's some good mid-tier options on the Dallas Wings as well. It's just tough in confidence in them matchup versus Miami, and they've been tough to get right. It seems like a kind of just throwing a dart at the wall to get one of those guys right.
Yeah, I'll throw one dart. Cedi Osman played 37 minutes against Miami. Good Lord, like what is going on? I don't even understand. But ended up getting up to crazy minutes again, coming off of playing only 18 against Washington. So,
yeah, I think no Garland was the reason why.
Oh, there we go. That's what it
Yep.
was. Okay.
Yeah.
That just kind of jumped out to me. Is Garland going to be back tomorrow? It says he's out for Tuesday, so no Garland. Yeah. So Cedi Osman's probably going to be playing big minutes again. So throwing him into the mix too at 5,500. All right, that's about all the time. Small forward just looks disgusting. It's not a fun position by any means. So top end of power forward on FanDuel definitely looks fun. You've got Giannis Antetokounmpo coming off of 75.6 FanDuel points, 49 real points going back and forth with KD. That was just a fun game to watch. Definitely think going back to both pieces sounds great. Zion Williamson, 9,600. Didn't play terrible, but 45.1, little disappointing, I would say. Don't want that at 9,600 now that he's not 9K anymore. That's a bummer. And then Pascal Siakam played phenomenal against the Lakers. By far his best game of the season. 39 points, 13 boards, 2 blocks, 2 steals, 4 assists. 68.6 FanDuel points. Are we going back to Siakam? Has he found something? When a guy like this, because I don't believe in hot streaks. I think it's so hard to figure out when to get on, when to get off. Like Russell Westbrook's just consistent. We target certain players in certain price ranges. It's kind of the deal of DFS where we're playing a price game and an opportunity game and a ownership game. But 8,600 Pascal Siakam in a tough matchup against the Clippers. Are you going to take shots there as well? Talk about the top end of power forward.
Well, you got to love a guy coming off a 70 plus fantasy point game. $7,900 on DraftKings, $8,600 on FanDuel. I still think he'll be low on. I don't think he's going to get that much ownership because I think people are going to flock to the studs and Giannis and KD. And that reason alone, he's going to be organically just lower owned because of that reason. He's fine. I think VanVleet playing, if all those guys are all healthy for a matchup against the Clippers, I will shy away just because of recency bias and having another body of who takes relevant number of shot attempts. I will take my chances elsewhere. I think spending up for Giannis can't fault you there. 11.4 on FanDuel, 10.7 on DraftKings. Huge upside. I mean, is he going to put up 74.5 again, going 21 of 36 from the field, 49 in real life? Yeah, it could definitely happen again against this Brooklyn team. It wouldn't shock me if he outperforms that number. But an absolutely sensational game for Giannis the other night. Zion Williamson, 9,600, was very disappointing today. In the sense, actually not as disappointing. It's just disappointing in terms of Sabonis numbers because Sabonis outscored him by 30. So $9,600 on FanDuel, kind of a $600 price jump. I think he's a great spend up option in my opinion, pivoting off of guys like KD on DraftKings as well, $9,900. But Draymond Green, we just saw a huge upside in the same matchup. I like going to Draymond yet again tomorrow, just shy of 60, triple-double upside. Just missed out, I believe, on a triple-double. No, he got the triple-double. So 10, 11, and 13. 10, 13, and 15. A really strong Draymond game. But spending down, I think there's going to be a guy in Sacramento and Marvin Bagley, 5,500 and 5K. Showed why he was the number 3 pick. I forget what number pick he went, but number 2 pick, drafted over Luka, beat Luka and the Mavs the other day. But when 10 of 16 from the field, was really good. Played 34 minutes. I think we can go to Bagley yet again tomorrow. He's going to be really popular. I don't mind it. I'll take my chances with Marvin Bagley at the third tomorrow. 5K, 5,500 on DraftKings and FanDuel.
As will I. Number 2 pick. 2018. Letting that be known. Getting down here a little bit further, it gets really gross. Sekou Doumbouya, we talked about. He's at the min over on FanDuel. I believe at DraftKings he's 3,300. Never an enticing play. You kind of have to hope that he's just kind of like the premium dude at the position that gets to 20, 22 for cheap. But if we have other value that shows up, it's hard to click that name. 29, 27 minutes here. The 2 previous, I don't know what he ended up to today. I know he put up like right around like 18, 19 again or whatever it was. But that's not going to do it when you have somebody like Caruso. Also, I'm just tilting my face off at Kyle Kuzma right now. This idiot just 9 minutes, 0 fantasy points without anybody out there. Caruso gets to 12.5 in his first stint. Why does Kyle Kuzma hate me? I have all the goods today on DraftKings. The only problem is I have 40% of that idiot. What is going on, Rinpack? Why do I roster this cat?
I don't know, man. Kyle Kuzma is an enigma like that. He is not a fun roster, a volume-based scorer, but in a matchup versus a Denver team, there's a good chance he turns it around. I have to watch that game. I'm really curious on how that game ends up going for Kuz. I had a decent amount of Kuzma on the night slate, but not as much on the main slate. He was great last night. He was absolutely
5,200 on DraftKings. I had to. I had to. You got to figure out where you're going to get leverage on stuff, and I just kind of chose that I was going to take Kuzma at 5,200 at 10% or 12%, and it's not going well.
I believe Aaron Gordon would have been the great pivot off of that.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
I think he's the one who's balling out.
Let's go to center. Let's round this stupid thing out. Let's get done with this. All right.
Let's
top end is center on DraftKings. We'll just stick over the. Well, let's go to FanDuel. I'm feeling weird. I'm mad. Bam Adebayo, 8,300 is your most expensive center on this slate, which is kind of crazy. That'll make it kind of interesting. Jared Allen at 7K. Rashawn Holmes, 6,600. DeAndre Ayton, 6,300. There's nobody to pay up for tomorrow. It is Bam. It's Jared Allen. There's nobody else. DeAndre Ayton down to 6,300 kind of looks crazy. Ken Burch is up to 6K. What is going on at the center position? Help me figure it out.
Yeah, center spot, Bam all the way to the top. You're going to have interest because of the center opportunity cost on FanDuel, $8,300. Bam has serious upside. He's gone 43-46, taking only 13 shot attempts the last 2 times out. You'd like him to go to the line more, but he's finding a way to get other peripherals. 7 rebounds, 10 assists. Bam in the facilitation game. Now a matchup versus Dallas, I think he can be really good. Play really well, have a solid fantasy game. Don't mind it whatsoever. Spending down to a guy like Jared Allen, it's tough, man. This guy before he got that concussion, he was playing really good fantasy basketball for us. Ever since that concussion, the Fro has not been anything as good since then. So I think I would rather take my chances on DeAndre Ayton on the other side or Rashawn Holmes. If you don't want to play Bagley, I recommend going to Holmes at 6,600 on FanDuel. Makes for a solid option. And if no Adams yet again, I think we can go to Hernan Gomez. He'll play 25 minutes only today. Only took 5 shot attempts. You would like him to take a few more shot attempts, but 4,900, Hernan Gomez has shown he can find a way to play around 30 minutes. Dwight Powell was monster in 20 minutes, found a way to mid-30s fantasy points. So he's a spin down option to consider. And in a matchup versus Sacramento, maybe Moses Brown comes back to life. Who knows what's happening in the OKC center front court? Only played 14 minutes last time. Tough for me to have any significant interest. I believe Plumlee is going to play tomorrow. So if Plumlee plays, I think there's a good chance he can play around 30+ minutes, and I'll have a lot of interest in him in matchup versus Charlotte. Over there on DraftKings, center spot, obviously guys like Giannis, Zion, Draymond, who we talked about all have center eligibility. And I think Plumlee also stands out here, 6,100. I think there's a good chance he plays extended minutes as he rested today in a matchup versus Charlotte. But the center spot's really strange. Obviously, we don't have the class of the centers like Kat, Embiid, Jokic. The class of the centers tomorrow is really just Bam and Zion and Giannis on DraftKings. Rashawn Holmes, $6,300. Draymond Green, $7,100. You're going to be using a lot of those guys who are power forward center eligible tomorrow on center, just because there's not really those standalone center only players that are really exciting to roster. You can't really go there in any such confidence. They're really, really tough to have any confidence at, especially almost 20 hours before the slate locks. That's really about it. Tough center spot. Tough center spot tomorrow on
I'm going to be playing power forwards over there, I think, on DraftKings. That helps the solution a little bit. Play some Zion and Giannis there. If you want to take some shots down further, I think Hernan Gomez, 5,100 still in play. Like him more at 4,900 on FanDuel, but that is pretty much all we got for today because center is gross. Rinpack, any words for the people?
Yeah. So smaller slate tomorrow. I'll obviously stagger start times and really not that many studs outside of that amazing Milwaukee Brooklyn game, and Luka. But the Sacramento Valley is going to be the foundation of the slate tomorrow.
The foundation of the slate, he says. All right, I'm going to go tilt my face off and watch Kyle Kuzma hopefully come back to life. He has 0 fantasy points in his first 10 minutes, so whatever. Guys, have a fantastic fantastic Tuesday, and we'll see you back here on Wednesday. Catch you later.